Okay, cue jingle.
Cue jingle. Da, 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 da. There it is.
We're
Are
live.
we recording?
We're live.
I don't know what to look at.
Video, and we're on audio.
We're on video and we're on audio. I don't know.
That's
I
it.
just felt like you were having a song and I wanted to be in it too.
You're welcome.
I'm going to say right now to the camera, I'm looking at the camera right now,
Okay.
that I have this habit, someday maybe I won't, of not looking at the camera, instead looking at myself, because I'm right there and my beard's really full and it looks really stupid. So
That's great.
my goal today is to not do that, not to be that guy. We're right into the weirdness already.
Introduce yourself.
Hey, Jonathan,
Oh,
who
hi.
are we?
Oh my gosh. Well, I'm Jonathan, obviously.
I'm
and,
Greg.
And you're Greg.
And we are
the Tasty Gents.
Tasty Gents.
That's right. And this is
And this is
Andrea.
Andrea.
She's the tasty lad. No, lass.
Lad?
Tasty Lass.
Lass.
We
I'm the gentlewoman.
we all have questions.
She's a gentle
about-
woman.
Yeah.
What a handsome woman. She's nope. And this is a podcast where and if you've just come into this and you're thinking, well, how do I change this? How do I do it? Wait, hang on. We are a podcast. We two guys, we just talk about a lot of food stuff. We live in Palm
Yeah.
Springs, Seattle,
Palm
West Coasters. Sometimes on location in Florida, but not right now. So today, where are we, Greg?
We're in lovely Palm Springs, California, Jonathan.
That's right.
Oh.
That's right. And it is a sunny
Sunny,
82 degrees out.
82 degrees. That's Fahrenheit,
That's
ladies
right.
and gentlemen.
That's
82
Fahrenheit.
degrees. It feels amazing here in Palm Springs. We are on the brink of air conditioning time, but thankfully not there yet.
Yeah.
So it's lovely inside.
Just on the break.
Other things happening today. It's 82 degrees. Charlie Brown, who is here behind us. If you've been with us before, you've heard evidence of Charlie Brown. Went and got a bath and got his nails trimmed today. So he's a little stressed, but he does smell good.
He is
So-
my favorite scratch and sniff.
There you go. Right now,
It smells delicious.
today he is. Some
very
days less so.
Yeah, that's the-
So we have a bunch of stuff to ramble on about today, Jonathan. What do we have to ramble on about today?
well, I think we were talking about your relationship status. That's the and now
I would like to clarify that we
Oh.
were not talking about my relationship status.
Okay, we're not talking about that. No, I just want to see. See,
I was actually thinking we were talking about bread. We're talking about bread.
Bread.
Glorious bread.
Feel like
So-
from Oliver.
From Oliver. Oh yeah, please, sir. Have
Yeah,
some more.
small.
I don't think that was bread though.
No,
I bake a lot of bread,
you do.
as you know. I started, I want to clarify, by the way, for the haters. So at least one person listening right now just rolled your eyes, and I want you to know that I saw you. That in the beginning of the pandemic, lots and lots of people began baking sourdough. Yes, they did.
Yeah.
They are posers.
That's right.
Because I started dating.
Dating.
Oh, got in my head. I started baking sourdough 3 full months before the pandemic started.
Yeah.
So
Wait,
Um,
that's what caused the pandemic.
yes, I caused the
Jeez.
pandemic. Yeah, because I brought it on.
That's how it's.
With my fermented dough that was sitting on my counter. So anyway, bake a lot of bread. The other night, I thought for fun, I'd like to bake some bread in the morning. And so I did not measure anything, very unusual.
Really?
Dumped some flour into a bowl, dumped some yeast and some salt and some water in with the flour, mixed it around, put it in the fridge, went to bed.
Okay.
Woke up in the morning, it was a little bubbly, gave it some time on the countertop, did a few stretch and folds. You know what those are. You probably know what those are. You know what that is.
Yeah, it's not.
And then thought, who just wants regular boring bread? Not me,
No way.
is the answer. I put some crumbled blue cheese and walnuts and craisins
What?
into the dough and kneaded all of that magic into it and then baked that sucker. We're gonna have
Did you eat
a
the
bite of
whole
it.
thing?
No, we're gonna have some of it in a minute.
Okay.
Yeah, it's right
Okay.
here. Yeah.
Doesn't make show and tell.
We might do a pause and bring it back.
There might be pictures up on Facebook later of my cheeks this big with
Oh,
crazy walnut bread.
crazy walnut blue cheese
Blue
bread.
cheese bread.
Yeah. And then because for those of you who've been with us for my seemingly endless shrimp and grits
Oh
experimentation,
my.
because I had to try all of the shrimps and gritses,
That are out.
which is to say tomato sauces, non-tomato sauces like butter and vegetable sauces, and then with white wine or not with wine, and on and on and on and on. I'm gonna have to do more of this blue cheese craisin walnut bread because it's epic.
All the different ways you can have it. I thought you were gonna say you're gonna have it with shrimp and grits, but
Oh, well, hey now, that could happen.
that you're gonna mix those in together. But you just had shrimp and grits, and what you think is now maybe your favorite
This might be
breakfast
my favorite breakfast restaurant in Palm Springs, although technically it's in Palm Desert.
Okay.
By the way, for those of you who can hear us right now, you might recognize that we're close to the flight path for Palm Springs International Airport.
That's right.
That's my phone making weird noises. Breakfast Republic in Palm Desert. They have another restaurant in I think somewhere else over toward LA.
Okay.
So it's not their only one. But I think they're Southern California exclusively. So they have a couple things that make me love them. They have good espresso.
Oh my.
So
Like that.
have gone and had an Americano with my breakfast. They also had a thing this last time that they let me try, but I didn't have one. That like free refills on, I think I want to say they call it Mexican coffee. So it's black coffee with a little bit of cinnamon and some other thing in it that ended up making it a little bit sweet. It was amazing.
Really?
So that might be my new go-to coffee drink at Breakfast Republic.
Was it like chicory or was it just more like cinnamony?
Probably more chicory-ish, but the predominant flavor was coffee with just a light cinnamon and a little sweetness. So
Right.
it was good.
Yeah.
And then I had shrimp and grits,
Yeah.
which they do very well. Their idea of over medium is a little less done than my idea, but I can live with that.
Okay.
But a little bit spicy. They have their own hot sauce. The shrimp are
Tomato
done really
sauce.
well.
How was the?
It was not a tomato sauce. It's just peppers and onions and butter, and then the shrimp kind of tossed in there with spices, and then served over cheese grits. And the grits, I believe, had Gouda cheese
Oh,
in them. Yeah, so a little smoky flavor from the grits,
sure.
and then a couple of over easy eggs on top of that. And then I added a piece of toast because, like,
Right.
you know,
Sop it all
how do you
up.
know? Exactly.
Yeah,
There was
because you
a
don't leave
distinct
anything.
need
Just
for
licking the
sopping.
bowl is gauche.
It was the first time I did it, and they asked me to leave, and so this time I went with toast
Yeah, you
instead.
want toast.
But I got the espresso. It was very good. I got an Americano.
Okay.
They also they had an enchilada dish on the menu, and I was kind of back and forth between that. No, was that or chilaquiles? Anyway, they brought me a sample of the sauce.
What's the chilaquiles?
Chilaquiles are so it's eggs scrambled with corn tortillas, and so it's got a little. It's sort of like, I mean, it's nachos-ish, except that the tortillas get a little bit soft when you scramble them in with the eggs and the peppers and the spices and such.
Okay.
And so it's got a little corn tortilla bite to it, meaning sort of firmness
Mhm.
and crispiness. And then of course eggs, which is richness. And they have a sauce that's amazing. They brought me a sample of sauce. So chilaquiles may be the next one that I have. Yeah, and a bunch of other stuff on the menu. So they don't take reservations, but I've been there now 3 times
Yeah, wow.
and been very happy each time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So
And are they just a breakfast, brunch? Do they do lunches, dinners? Do you know?
I think they do lunches. I think a
Yeah,
breakfast, brunch,
breakfast and
lunch.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I know.
Okay.
What about you? Where you been lately?
No, nowhere. Hang on.
Go ahead. Liar. Liar.
It's not true. We have gone out a couple of times, but mostly, and I'll just make the announcement here, we got a job.
What?
I got a job. I know. And I didn't think Walmart needed any more greeters, but they
Right,
did.
I know.
No.
And so does that mean that we don't have to send out the subscription notice to Tasty Gents listeners?
That's right.
That it's now $100 a month
Yeah.
to listen?
Yeah.
Yeah, so we don't have to, so we don't have to do that.
We're
That
not
was,
doing
yeah.
that.
we're not doing that.
No, we were going to. I know, because rent.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Crazy inflation.
The rent is too much.
Yeah.
Congratulations on your
Thank you.
job.
Thank you.
And what do you want to tell us about that?
No, it's a great position. I'm really excited. It's a year-long contract to hire with Microsoft. I know, you've heard of them. And I'm working in their learning development team to train their internal engineers. And that's what I'm doing. I'm doing that for the next year.
That's
See how it goes. And I'm already loving it. And I texted you right away. I said, you know what? I think I missed team meetings. And
You
you
said
were
that,
like,
yeah.
I'm gonna save this text and in 6 months ask you, do you still miss team
For
meetings?
real, that is on my calendar. Yeah, sending that text back to Jonathan in 6 months is on my calendar.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is super cool. Congratulations.
Cool team.
Yeah.
And I've enjoyed it so far.
Nice. I do not have a job
Oh,
and am not looking for one.
okay.
I continue to, as we talked about once before,
Mhm.
work on building a coaching and consulting practice, and that's going just fine.
Yeah.
But it's interesting to me that many people can't really wrap their head around sort of, I'm building a business, and as a result, I don't work a 40-hour a week job, but I still have things to do. everyone thinks I'm retired. I was talking to someone the other day and I said I had a meeting. They're like, I'll call you when I get a chance. I'm like, well, I have meetings during the day. They're like, what kind of meetings? You're retired. I'm like, I'm
Yeah.
not retired.
Not
Stop
retired.
saying
Yeah,
that.
I'm not profitable, but I'm not retired.
Exactly. I
There's
don't
a
make
difference.
money. Nobody
Yeah.
pays me for these meetings, but I
It's
still
just-
attend them.
Yeah. Are there other people in these meetings? Is it just, yeah,
Sometimes it's just me.
it's just, Look, Charlie Brown, what did you need your consultant? No,
Exactly.
no, but it's tough because you are in the infancy stage of building this business out, and that takes,
Yes.
you got
Yeah.
momentum and
Right.
getting all
Got
the,
to talk to marketing people occasionally, talk to networking. If networking is its own weird thing. I met a guy who's like really a very focused networker. Networker, is that a word? Yeah. So he connected me to about 11 other people who also seem to be very focused networkers.
yeah.
So I think it's just smoke and mirrors at this point, but I don't know.
And by networker, we're not talking about fishermen.
We are not.
We're talking about people who
Not a net
get
worker.
together,
Oh.
they network.
Networkers.
Yeah, and they talk about why they're important, I think. I don't know. But none of that matters. Your job is what matters. That's the what's happening this week is your job. You know?
Well, I'm really happy with it, and I'll put a pin in it. We'll come back and see what that's.
All right. Yeah, exactly.
Give another.
We'll be revisiting the I really miss team meetings text message that I got. What are you cooking this week?
What am I cooking this week? It's leftovers time in the fridge, so you have a bunch of
Is that
of
like
stuff.
a parties or like streamers?
It's like little leftovers. Yeah, you open it up.
in the fridge.
Yeah, you know what I wish is that when food was not, there were different, growing up, there were different stages of food. There was, we just got it, there's frozen food that's now being defrosted. Then there
Yes.
was cooked food that you're gonna eat right away.
Yes.
And then there's food that's like, uh-oh, let's make soup.
Yes.
Like, and I wish when food got to the point where it's, uh-oh, let's make soup, that it would have little streamers, or you'd open it up and
Fantastic.
confetti would.
Time to make soup today. It's a great confetti thing. This reminds me of something too, by the way, if I may.
You could talk about the fact that
Andrea has
we
something
didn't
to
have
say.
St. Patrick's Day proper because we were making a vegan stew along with cabbage
Ooh.
shapes. But we actually haven't made it yet because we ended up getting derailed.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
did.
funny.
Yeah, we
St.
were gonna
Patrick's
go out
Day.
and do, and for, by the way, happy St. Patrick's Day for.
Happy St.
everybody
Patrick's Day.
who, tends to be Irish once a year. And we went out to Palm Springs and we had a nice time. There were a million people in green and we had a
You're
drink.
brave.
I
I
had
couldn't
some,
do it.
I had a green drink, Andrea had a green drink,
Nice.
and then,
We were gonna go home and.
we were gonna go home and cook Irish stew that was vegan Irish stew. And then we got really tired after our drinks and we just had pizza. But at Tropical, also
Oh,
one of my
very
more
nice.
favorite, Tropical, one of my favorite. If you're in town and you haven't been to Tropical, check it out. It's a great happy hour place. That happy hour like
It is quite good.
7 days a week. The bar is always packed.
So
Doesn't
many happy
matter.
hours.
Yeah, somebody has
So many hours. Yeah.
So many that we had to go, and their menu is great. Their happy hour menu is really
It's
delicious.
on. I haven't been there in a while. I need to go back.
Yeah,
I would like, however, to come back to your idea of the refrigerator, either timer or sections to indicate whether something is coming down from the freezer,
yeah.
ready to be eaten in the next few days, or needs to be made soup right now. There's another version of that. There's something here. There's a get rich quick scheme here. Stay
Oh,
with me for a
Oh, I
moment.
feel it.
Um,
Okay.
clothing. What are the different states of clothing at your house?
Oh,
On me,
On you,
on
State
the
one.
floor,
on the floor,
out in the washer, out of the
in
washer,
the washer, out of the washer,
and then put away.
and put away. Oh, not see. But how many places have their own designate? How many of those choices has its own designated spot?
Like for socks and for
Floor.
shirts and for,
Yeah.
oh yeah, all sorts.
See, for me, there's like in the dryer,
Yeah.
but not yet folded.
Okay.
That can last for weeks,
Yeah,
let's be
it's
honest.
like, well, that's where that was.
Then there's
Yes.
in the dresser
Yeah.
or hanging in the closet. That's standard.
Yeah.
But then there's like wore it for an hour, definitely has more life in it before it has to be washed. That doesn't have anywhere to go.
Back of your chair.
I don't have a chair.
Cheers.
Well, they're down here. I'm not going to throw laundry down here.
That's right.
It'd be weird.
Well, because then it's a talking point with Andrew.
A talking point, you call it.
agreed.
Okay, we'll roll back to that someday. That might be there's something there about like a dresser that has like the This is the drawer where I keep I've
Yeah.
worn it for an hour. It's got a little bit more life.
Right.
And then a drawer next to that that's like, now I've worn it for 3 hours. It's got maybe another hour in it,
It's
but
got
nowhere
nothing
nice.
else.
Yeah.
Yeah, nowhere nice.
Yeah.
Yes.
All that's real.
Okay.
All right. Back to food.
But I think
Soup.
what?
Irish stew.
Breakfast soup.
Breakfast soup.
And
It feels like a band.
somebody-
Would you go see a band called Breakfast Soup? I would.
Somebody feed. Oh, yeah, oh, that's great. Thank you. Andrea is referencing a show we just started watching. One of the creators or the creator of a show called Everybody Loves Raymond. And his name is Phil something. And he has a show that's now in its 7th season called
Ooh.
Somebody Feed Phil.
Oh.
And he is this tall, lanky LA Jewish guy, goofy as all get out. Zero cool factor, but
Zero.
in that zero cool factor, turns out to be a really cool guy.
Oh, right
And so
on.
he goes all over the world and does all of this food, just like you would imagine. He sees all of these places and just reacts to the food and the people and the things. And so we've seen him in Thailand, we've seen him in Israel, we've seen him in Bangkok, we've seen him all over the place, right? And it's fun. And the food, of course, obviously looks delicious and wonderful, and I always want to go, and places look great and everything else. But yeah, so we've been watching that, and he one of the things that Andrew, of course, always makes fun of for me is that while I don't usually eat breakfast, when I do, it's oftentimes soup. I like soup in the morning when I'm
Hot soup?
Oh yeah, hot soup. I like a hot soup. What, cold soup? I mean, vichyssoise. I'm not gonna. Yeah, I'm gonna have like.
Why are you hating a vichyssoise? Like
I'm not hating, but
suddenly there's a
thing.
boundary here.
There's
Like
a-
hot soup is okay, but not cold soup. Cold
Yeah.
soup for breakfast. What kind of barbarian does that?
Is it just old? Did you leave it out? No. No, I like.
Okay, sorry, hot
I like
soup for breakfast. Yeah, no judgment here.
Noodle soup
A
or
little bit of judgment.
a
Yeah.
little bit. My favorite, of course, is ramen. So my favorite is like
Ramen.
really nice. We had a ramen
I
night.
did.
And that was delicious. And I'll do the whole thing. I'll do the egg, I'll do the vegetables, I'll do the noodles.
Really?
So yeah, I'll do a whole thing. It's a big bowl. And then I don't need to eat until like late at night. Like I'm good.
Well, you say breakfast. What time is this we're talking about now?
Well, for me, breakfast around 6:30 or so.
That's what I thought. You prepare ramen, including the like marinated egg, for soup. You're looking at me like, of course, dude. Like, isn't this obvious? It's not at all obvious.
Says the guy who makes the most amazing breads, and he's like, well, if I'm gonna do
Well,
it, do it
not
right.
at 6:30 in the morning.
Yes.
That's
I
amazing.
know.
Okay.
Well, and
Breakfast
I
soup.
eat probably breakfast maybe once a week. I mean, I
Oh.
almost never eat breakfast. It's coffee and water, and I go.
Okay.
Yeah.
And a muffin.
No, nothing. I have nothing till like maybe noon or
Wait, sorry.
1.
You said coffee though.
That's coffee.
And a muffin that's the phrase is coffee and a muffin. Could also be coffee and a scone. I don't really understand what it means by
no
itself.
bread products. There's
Wait,
no,
what?
There's nothing else. There's no cream. It's black.
You have no bread product?
Strong black coffee, and then when I'm
Interesting.
and then
Is that like a cup of coffee and a deep breath? Who does that? What kind of weirdo are you?
I take my time, and then what? This is
He's this kind of weirdo.
I'm the best kind of weirdo, right? Because I'm so cheap for breakfast. I mean, if I go out for breakfast, I don't order a bowl of soup. Obviously, we're not going to go to some breakfast place and say,
I'd like your ramen,
I
please.
see all the egg dishes, but I bet.
Right.
Sometimes if I'm lucky, and we'll go to a place, and there are a couple of them. Streamliner Diner on Bainbridge Island was one of my favorites, and they have a delicious chili. So if I'm not going to have ramen, my other favorite meal, when I have to adhere to the Western standards of breakfast requirements that you
He said
like,
bitterly.
hash browns and your eggs, and butter,
Eggs.
toast. Anyway, so
Anyway,
but
yeah.
I like, but if I'm not going to have that, if they don't have it, I'll ask if they have chili. If they have chili, I'm like, great, poach an egg, put it on top, and that
sounds really good.
it's super delicious.
That's
It's filling.
brushing up against shakshuka. That's almost.
It is very much like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, all right.
But a lot of places don't do. If I say shakshuka, they'll start dancing.
All right. Hold on. I've checked with the Canadian judges. They'll allow it. Yeah.
That's right.
We're gonna go okay with that.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I like it's the Canadian.
I always.
Yeah,
They're always the
got
tiebreaker.
Yeah.
Um.
Oh, hey, Harry.
Harry.
There he is getting his mail.
Oh yeah. I eat breakfast. Most days, not every day.
Yeah.
I don't always have a baked good, but
You make the best scones.
I make scones. and I make muffins. This morning I had a blackberry bran muffin that was quite good. Yeah, so
Yeah.
I don't know, I don't do it every day, but it's my weakness. And so what I try is projection. What we call that, children, is projection.
Yeah.
When I feel bad about something about myself and I know I'm wrong, I will project it onto Jonathan and make it seem as though he is wrong.
Yeah.
And that way I feel better about myself.
That's right.
It never works.
More therapy tips
You're right.
after the show.
Today's episode of Tasty Gents brought to you by therapy. Get some.
Get some. That's right.
Quick.
More expensive than talking to yourself.
Exactly. Yes. Super breakfast. That actually sounds pretty good.
Yeah. Well,
I think I'm on board for the chili, especially the ramen. I like the ramen. Feels like a
well,
lot.
and one of the reasons that I came to this is because we're watching this Somebody Feed Phil, and they're having super breakfast, and he's like,
Yeah.
"Who eats super breakfast?" And he's like, "The happiest people in the world," because all these people in Thailand are eating
That's
super
funny.
breakfast.
Jonathan jumped off the couch and says, "I found my people."
That's it. I'm moving to Thailand. That's it. Found my people.
And the first step is ramen for breakfast.
That's the first
Well, and so maybe I need to. I'm willing to expand my horizons a little bit
Yeah.
and maybe have some soup for breakfast. I think I don't know.
Well,
What would it
we'll
be
come
like
over.
No.
at 6:30?
Sure.
All right,
Yeah.
have early morning ramen.
Yeah.
Did we post our ramen episode, by the way?
Did you put the video together?
Oh, nice.
Greg's like, "Hey, I'll do the video this time."
When I say we, okay. So here's the thing. So we made ramen.
Yeah,
It was amazing.
it was really good.
If you looked at the Facebook group, I think you might have seen some. I've been editing the video. But I looked at the video. Did I tell you that I looked at the video?
No.
I looked at the video. You know what?
Hmm.
I'm grossly, hugely fat.
No.
It's true.
Well, they say the camera puts on 10 pounds.
So many cameras,
Did you eat like 5 cameras?
like 11 cameras pointed at me. It's just taken me a minute to adjust to looking at myself on the video and thinking, dude,
Yeah.
maybe fewer scones. So while I'm processing that, I've also been working on editing the video. So we've not yet posted our video for ramen.
When you say edit, are you stretching our heads?
I am. Yeah. Yeah. So there's a whole lot of, I'm going to be sort of hourglass shaped, like you do.
Yeah.
I'm patting all that onto you though. So
Oh, good. Fantastic. I noticed that too now because, my mother said I've definitely got a face for radio. So when we switched over
Make
to
me laugh
YouTube-
every time.
Yeah. When we switch over to YouTube, I noticed that too. And I'm thinking maybe listener, watcher, lurker.
Lurker.
Leave a comment. Just let us know how fat you think we are.
Yes. How fat you think we are. Because there's no way that can go badly. Right?
Oh, no.
That's only going to be affirming, life
Bring it,
affirming.
internet.
Bring it,
Bring it.
internet. Right,
I
exactly.
know.
We like calling all internet trolls, calling all internet trolls.
Ding, 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 ding.
Anyway, I am still going to edit the video because there's a lot of really good stuff there.
Okay,
and I'm going to make it so very much fun.
Okay.
And we're going to have that video available here on the YouTubes.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else you got?
We did one of my more favorite things to do when we don't want to cook and we don't want to go out because either I don't want to cook because I'm tired and Andrea doesn't want to go out because she has no makeup on.
It is a thing.
It is a thing. And it's DoorDash.
Girls. Who knew?
Yeah. DoorDash. Yeah, if you're familiar with it, it's a service.
I've heard of
They
DoorDash.
have a little app on your phone, thing,
Yeah.
whatever, and they bring you whatever you want. You ask for these things and you pay for it. And they come to your door. So we did DoorDash the other night, and we had a local restaurant called Chef Tanya's Kitchen. It is we wanted something different because oftentimes we'll get sushi or we'll get Indian or we'll get something like that. And it's all delicious, it's great.
Yes.
But we saw something different, and we had not been to Chef Tanya's, and Chef Tanya's was killer. I can run, do not walk, drive. It's
Drive.
But to Chef Tanya's Kitchen, it's 100% vegan.
Yep.
And 100% you don't care. It's so good. And I had we had these salad bowls. I had the taco bowl. Yeah. And Andrea had
Coachella Valley,
the Coachella Valley bowl.
which was one of the best things I've
It's
ever.
full of sand.
Yeah, it's just full of sand.
So full of
Yeah, it's very watery and
Sand. Yeah.
leathery
Leathery
people.
old people.
It's chocolate.
What the hell?
Coachella Valley.
I guess it's not vegan if it's full of leathery old people.
There's no meat on it. at this point.
Good point. Yeah.
Anyway, I lost my train of thought. Oh yes, but we had it. It was great. And then we did in fact get they have a great potato salad. They have a cauliflower, a cold cauliflower salad. They have
Nice.
that was incredible.
Mm.
And then I saw that they had chili. And again, as a bit of a chili connoisseur, I want to try it. I want to try a vegan chili. So I got a serving of it, which was the equivalent of like 2 small servings for individuals. And then I did poached eggs and we had it for breakfast.
Oh,
I did that.
nice. That's really good.
Amazing.
The chili that I made for our Oscar party,
Oh, so good.
I'm trying to think if that was vegan. That was vegan as well. And
Yeah.
that recipe turned out really good. I'm going to be making that again here in the short term.
We should put that recipe up and put a couple of pictures up, because Greg, what you do is you go to the spice aisle at your local store and you give it the middle finger, and then you go home and make all your own.
It's true. Well, not all, but much.
The good ones.
Yeah.
So you process your own chilies, you make your own chili powder.
Yeah. Chili powder, remarkably easy to make. Buy dried chilies, roast them slightly so that they get just to get a little kind of roasty smell to them, and then put them in a spice grinder. You're done. You have chili powder. It just tastes 1,000% better than what you can buy in a bottle.
It's so fresh.
Yeah.
It was incredible. Yeah. I couldn't stop eating that chili.
It's fresh.
Until
That's a
people
song.
were-
Yeah, the chili was good. So I'm gonna make that again. I've also been to Chef Tanya's
Yeah.
with my friend Jeff, who is here. Jeff, if you're listening, what?
Okay.
I did a thing that I know I'm not supposed to do, or that I know doesn't serve me, which is I got their French dip.
Oh,
Now that makes it sound like it's made of meat. It was not made of meat. It was made of seitan or Satan,
Satan's
which
alternative.
I think is really funny. And Chef Tanya's did not appreciate me talking about the Satan French dip. Whatever. I still said it several times and laughed each time.
Yeah.
Things that pretend to be other things that pretend to be meat, I tend to not enjoy as much.
Yeah.
The sandwich was very good.
Yeah.
But it wasn't as good as what Jeff got. I can't remember now what he got, but I had a bite of his. His was better. And so, and I think it wasn't trying to be like something like a French dip. So I want to go back and try more things at Chef Tanya's. But I'm going to say as well, Chef Tanya's, 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, 2 thumbs up. I agree with the idea where the meat's something's trying to be something it's not.
Yes.
Right. And we can go on about,
Impossible
sociopaths and
Burger.
actors.
Oh, and also sociopaths and actors.
Yeah. Which, sociopaths.
We covered that in the
actors are
Oscars
the
last
same.
week.
Yes. Actors are just sociopaths with an audience. That's all I ever think. So,
Wow.
Wow.
well, they do the same
Let's
thing.
all sit with that for a moment.
Take that in.
Yeah.
But I love French dip. It's actually the sandwich that I go to all the time. In fact, I like au jus so much that when I don't want a French dip, I'll get a patty melt and au jus, which with the onions and the sauce, and
Great.
it is so darn
Yeah.
good. So if you're in the mood to dip your sandwich, and I love to dip, love
Also a
to
dip.
dip. I'm a big
Dipper.
This is
See,
that's
that's why
it.
this works.
We're both tips.
Did you? Okay. Were you ever aware of the French dip only restaurant that was on 15th Avenue Northwest in Seattle?
Whoa.
No.
Sadly, it only lasted about a year, maybe a year and a half. And it was this little small purple building. All they served was French dips. I had a lot of them. I think I'm part of what kept them afloat for a while.
Yeah.
And they literally, that's all they served. I think you could get a soda pop.
Sure.
But I don't even think they had chips. It was French dips and the amazing au jus. Oh, now I'm hungry.
Really? And was it so was the au jus the same in all the sandwiches? That they were just different iterations of sandwiches that you could dip?
No, they were all French dips.
Just
It was like
and
beef
fish,
that was
yeah.
a little more than medium rare, so upper on medium probably. And it was it's soaking in this au jus. And so when they made your French dip, they would put the baguette or the roll down and get it super duper toasty. And I think you had a choice of cheese or no cheese, and that was it. They might have had peppers and stuff. And then they would take this sort of moist dripping meat out and put it across your roll. Yes, I said
moist
that.
meat.
Moist dripping. We're trying to keep it clean here at Tasty Gents. It's not always possible. And then cheese and then the other stuff, and then they wrap it up and hand it to you, and magic. So magic. Yeah, I missed that. Remember when we used to eat meat? Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, last year. I mean, it's just
Last
kind of
month.
Well, for you,
I had a meatball sandwich earlier in the week, so I can't really complain.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. we're closing in
We're
on
closing in.
yet another.
Have we talked about anything we want to talk about?
We have talked about everything that we're going to talk about today.
Change the cue cards. What's the next one?
Oh,
I guess we're blank.
yeah,
I guess we're okay.
we're nothing
So
else
wrap.
to talk about. Yeah. The camera people.
Camera people.
There.
Okay.
It was cameraman anymore. It's
Camera
sexist.
person.
Trying to be that person. Yeah. So thanks again for spending a half hour or so with us.
Yeah, thank you.
We're delighted. We want to hear from you. What do you think of the YouTube action? What do you think of what we're talking about? What do you want us to talk about instead? What's going on in your life? What is happening with
Tell
you?
us about you.
What have you made recently, and
Yeah.
how did it turn out?
Yeah.
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 That. Jonathan, once again, it's a delight to hang out with you
Yeah.
and with
Andrea,
the tasty
the
lass,
Tasty Lass.
who enjoy so much,
Yeah.
who's here to prod and prompt and otherwise encourage.
Mhm.
Which we love. All right. We're going to see you next week. Thanks, everyone.
Okay. Thanks. Take care.
Bye.
You've been listening to Tasty Gents, a geeky Palm Springs to Seattle podcast.
Okay, cue jingle.
Cue jingle. There it is.